What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about TOSHI today. It is the 14th day of December, and here we are at $0.00038 with 8 hours and 40 minutes left in the day, essentially. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It's looking like TOSHI had this kind of like ascending triangle structure, and you've broken out of it almost to the downside. I don't know if we're breaking out. This might be a false break and then we come back up. Sometimes that happens, but I'm going to look at the short-term stuff. We'll look at the 1 hour time frame here on the Coinbase chart, and then we'll zoom out using the TOSHI 3 chart. We'll look at the longer history of TOSHI toward the end of this video. So hit that like button, subscribe. Let's get into it. Okay, here we are, 1 hour time frame now. Not a whole lot of volume, right? In fact, the volume has been slowly diminishing as we and our price slowly diminish. Coinbase, typically in crypto, you don't really get gaps because, I mean, on the CME, in the CME futures, you get gaps because it's a traditional market. But with crypto, you don't normally get gaps because it's 24/7, right? It's always moving. But with these lower liquidity coins, sometimes we do get gaps. We do actually have a couple gaps to the upside here. We even have some gaps, I think, going way back here. Let's just see. I know that there are some gaps to the upside beyond just that one. I'm just having a hard time finding them right now because we're on the 1 hour. They're only visible on the 1 hour time frame, but there's still gaps. There's a gap right there, yeah, all the way up at 307. There's more gaps above too, but just locally speaking, the most recent gap is up here to the upside. So I do believe that we will move back higher and beyond even these targets, right, as time goes on. But it's just something to keep in mind. We don't have to fill these gaps immediately. We definitely don't have to fill them immediately, but it's something to keep in mind for anybody out there who is doubting that TOSHI will come back. Maybe you're discouraged. Maybe you think it's dead. It's going to zero. You're already at 0.000, so you're basically at zero. But all jokes aside, you probably do return to the upside at some point here pretty soon. 1 hour time frame, looking at this on the RSI, we are a bit bearish, a bit volatile, getting oversold, getting overbought, getting oversold again. We're probably at an area where you would expect to bounce, being here at the lows. Do we find a double bottom? Do we go lower? I don't know. I don't really care whether it's this low or it's this low. The low is soon to be had, and we should be moving up thereafter. Okay. Looking at the stochastics, definitely bearish there, and the MACD is bearish as well. So I have no problem calling for us to go lower. I think we probably do. Let's call for that. So we have a flat base here, and you have descending highs, and you kind of broke out of your ascending structure, right? So I mean, a flat base here with descending highs, you might break out to the downside. It makes sense to me. We look at the, let's take the fibs. Let's take the low here to the high here. Golden ratio, 786, 886 is at 3037, 30362, somewhere around there. Or daily time frame here. Do we retrace this overall range as a whole? Not just this high to low, but this high to low. In which case, maybe we go down to 0.00036 to 0.00348, or do we even go below that low? I don't expect that we go below this low. I think the low from November 21st will hold, but it could happen. You never know. You kind of remind me of the Bitcoin chart. You actually look very similar to the Bitcoin chart. A little bit different, but similar. Getting back to the 4 hour time frame here, not a whole lot of volume. You're definitely near a breakout point. You could break out to the upside, but you very well could break out to the downside. It's important to be okay with that, I suppose. 4 hour time frame on the RSI here. We are finding resistance at the 60, not getting overbought at all. You're not really getting oversold either, though. You are very neutral, and it's somewhat common to ping pong between the 60 and the 40 like this until you pick a side. We look like we're in breakout territory, and we're down here. I think we might break out to the downside, you guys. That's the expectation there. Stochastics are red. The MACD actually has some bullish divergence, to be fair. Double bullish divergence with that. I mean, that's a positive signal there. You do have bullish divergence on your stochastics too, technically. Daily time frame. The RSI just keeps getting beat up. You see, you look like XRP here, where you're getting these sharp points to bring you down, sharp point to bring you down, sharp point here. Now you're doing something different. I would think different behavior begets different results. Right? Not the same results. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I spoke too soon. That 4 hour MACD divergence gets me a little bit excited. I think Bitcoin's going to move up here pretty soon. That gets me a little bit excited too. I mean, what we're dropping right now? No, we still have a higher low, but soon enough we'll probably move up. I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was too quick to say that. Because a drop from here would likely not result in a higher low from here. It would likely result in a lower low overall. And I just don't know if I see that happening. It's just because I don't see it happening doesn't mean it can't happen. Daily stochastics are bearish. The MACD is technically bearish overall, but you are, in this area of bullish momentum being built. And didn't we identify? Hold on. Yeah, TOSHI has done this before, where we've been in the red on the MACD. We've been under the zero with the oscillators, and then at our low point here, we're flipping green for a while, and then we start to move. Then we really start to move. Here we're moving down. We're underneath the zero. We start to flip green before we really start to move up, and then we start to. It's like a foreshadowing. You had the same thing happen back here at these lows, and then you moved up dramatically. I don't know. Maybe I was too quick to be bearish here. Maybe we should be more bullish. What I will say, what I'm more confident in saying right now is that here we are at 30382. If we go down, I don't think we actually go down that much. I do think, I take it back, I do think we're actually in a point where I would expect we do move to the upside. From here, the next target area would be the 382 and probably just above there, which makes total sense because that's actually right where there's a bunch of resistance from this prior price action here. So something at about 3054, 3057, somewhere in that range. If not, if we don't stop there, then we're just going to move all the way up to the golden ratio at 3072 to 3078. And TOSHI can definitely move that fast. I mean, we've been here before. 3 days later, we were up here and beyond. So it can definitely happen again. And we've done that before too, not just here, but back here. And not just here, but back here as well. If we go on the TOSHI 3 chart, we can see. From this exact area, we've actually made very short work of upside price action. So, I mean, even if we go down from here, it's important not to get too bearish, right? The 1 hour time frame does not impress me. In the 4 hour, there are some points of concern, but there are some signs that we literally are ready to move up right now. And maybe the signs are even in the price action itself, right? It's like we're slowly breaking out of this downtrend. Slowly here, maybe we're about to shift to the upside. I don't know. Daily time frame, looking at it like this, the stochastics do make me bearish a little bit. They do make me bearish a little bit. So again, if we go lower, probably not by much. Reset your stochastics, bounce off the oversolds, and then try. So maybe sometime this week, if not next week, we should be moving to the upside. That'd be my guess. But maybe some boring price action until then. Weekly time frame, oversold on the stochastics. The last time we were this oversold was over here. We got oversold here. We were oversold from like March until May. So we can be oversold for several months. We've been oversold for about a month now. But the last time that we were oversold before that, we were also oversold for several months. So as far as voluptuous upside recovery breaking out to new all-time highs goes, that's probably reserved for January at the earliest. February is looking pretty doable as well. I'm not saying that we won't get any kind of upside until February. I just mean we probably don't see new all-time highs, I would think, until February. Earliest would be January. That doesn't mean we move down until then, right? Here, though, on the macro scale, we look at this other than just looking at these indicators here. We look at this. We have broken some serious structure. We really have. And it's important to address this. We really did break out of some serious structure here. If we take this from a low to a high, maybe I shouldn't even do that. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe that's too far gone. Maybe we take this high to low. We're right at the 236. I like this as long as we're holding the 236, as long as we're closing weeks above this 236, which is at 3036, 3035, somewhere in that area. I think we're okay. If not, you really do run the risk. If you start closing weeks below the 236, you run the risk of going below this low over here. And that, I mean, at that point, you've got a lot bigger concerns than just taking out this low. Like you got some serious concerns there. I think you're at a make it or break it point. I think you're going to make it, man. I think you're going to hold this area as support, and you will prevail triumphant. But it's just going to take some time. Again, before we get above these highs, it could be February. It could be February before you're above 0.001 again. Maybe it's the end of January, and we're already above these highs. But I do think it's going to take some more time. I don't think December is going to save us, but maybe January will. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.